my going digitally dark in the Absolute Low Jack Challenge was to kind of try to put myself in the frame of reference for what it would feel like if I lost my phone. Now, as I said in a previous video, I know what it's like to lose my keys, and that's really frustrating and can cause all sorts of panic. So I imagine that losing your phone is like that, only worse. But while I was actually digitally dark, I had a hard time getting in that frame of reference because I knew that if I really needed my phone, I knew exactly where I had shut it off and left it. So instead, I thought I would go through some of the things that occurred to me throughout the day that people would have access to if they have access to my phone. If you're anything like me, you've probably programmed your home address and maybe your work address into your mapping application. Now for me, this was a time saver because those are the two places I frequent the most, and if I'm somewhere else, I want to know how to get to them in the fastest route possible. But this also helps someone else who finds your phone know where you live, where you work, and the approximate commute time between those two should they want to know how long you're out of the house every day. I just finished my daily run, and one of the things that occurred to me while I was running is that by having my phone and having Runkeeper on it, you can very easily figure out how frequently I run, where I go, and how long I'm gone. And I got plenty of sweat in my eye. In my first video about going digitally dark, I commented on the fact that having my email and knowing what bank I bank at because of an app on my phone would make it easy for somebody to potentially recover my banking password and get access to my bank information. Now, there's something that I hadn't thought of at that point in time, which also is available via email, and that is your Amazon purchase history. Now, if you take my previous comment about having a mapping application let somebody know where you live and how long you're gone, and should that person decide they want to rob you, now a smart thing to do would be to check to see if your house is worth robbing in the first place. And since I do a great deal of shopping at Amazon, searching my inbox for Amazon purchases would be an easy way to figure out if I had anything in the house at all that was worth taking. Now, if you do a quick search in my Amazon, the last thing that I purchased is this 2-pound bag of black sesame seeds. Who wouldn't want that? My house is already at risk by showing this to you in this video. Another thing that might be easier to acquire if you had access to someone's smartphone is their mother's maiden name. Now, why would you want this? Because lots of places use it as a security measure. I don't have anywhere that uses it in my case, but I have had places in the past that ask for it. And so, Facebook app, where more than likely you're friends with your mom, and your bank information that I've previously stated, or maybe your healthcare information, or anything else that might possibly ask for your mother's maiden name. And together you can do some simple detective work to figure out who my mother or your mother or anyone else's mother is, and possibly track down what their maiden name is based on who they're friends with on Facebook. Have you scanned your entire life into Evernote and installed the Evernote app on your phone? Or pick another app if you don't use Evernote. Because there's lots of these apps that have made it convenient to scan documents and store literally anything about yourself in an app that's retrievable from your phone or your tablet or your computer or wherever. And if you didn't turn on the security feature that allows you to have a password on it, as soon as somebody gets into your phone, they also have access to all that stuff too. So that's another thing that someone could get at if they happen to have access to your phone. One of the big realizations that I came to while I was without my phone is that I don't know the phone number of a lot of the people that I know. Now, I used to have pretty much every phone number of every person that I contacted on a regular basis memorized. It's just how my brain works. But I've allowed that skill to slip away and accept the fact that all that information is going to be available to me, synchronized in some way, and always available. But guess what? When you don't have your phone and you're away from a computer, all of a sudden it's not synced. So if you really needed to get a hold of somebody, it might be trickier than you think. Now, I will say I have my wife's phone number memorized, and my parents haven't changed their phone number in like forever. So I can always access them, but anybody else, I might be out of luck. If I had one takeaway from this experiment, it would be that I would want to set up the data on my phone, and I'm working towards this now, it isn't all the way there yet, but I would want to set up the data on my phone so that if I lost my phone, I could wipe it have my phone found and restore it later. Now, there's a lot of apps that help you get to this approach. For instance, if you go to facebook.com in a web browser on your computer, you can sign your phone out of Facebook, which also signs it out of anything else that's authenticated with it, or you can de-authenticate those apps that you have signed in using Facebook's authentication. Twitter, same sort of thing, sign out and deauthorize the apps, and all of a sudden anything that was authenticated using either of those two methods you can eliminate access to. Now I use Gmail, and Gmail, because I have configured a special one-time use password for my phone, if I deauthorize that password, Gmail is no longer accessible from my phone either, and so I think that would minimize some of the risks that I talked about previously. But there are many other apps that you may or may not be using that have varying levels of this sort of ability to turn them off remotely, and keeping track of all of them starts to get a little bit messy. So I think the best policy is to figure out how to back up all your data to a cloud sort of storage, so that if you need to remote wipe your phone somehow, you can do it and you won't care if it's gone. Now for the part that benefits you. As part of this Absolute LoJack challenge, I was given the opportunity to give away a 5-pack of 1-year premium subscriptions that will be selected at random to go to someone. And all you have to do to participate is 2 very simple things. 1, comment on this video. Hopefully you will say something that does not embarrass yourself. And 2, go like Absolute LoJack on Facebook. I'll make sure that a link to their Facebook page is in the description of the video to make it easy for you to find. So, very simple. Do those 2 things, comment on the YouTube video, and go like Absolute LoJack over on their Facebook page, and you're entered. 1 person will be selected at random, and the final day for entry is this coming Sunday, which I believe is June 29th. So, have at it. You got 7 days to enter, starting with today, of course, and then 1 person will be selected to get a 5-pack of 1-year premium subscriptions to Absolute LoJack. Good luck to you.